Hey, what's going on, guys? Spousey Q here.
Cassandra Lee, and together we are the Power Couple. Man, I am pumped up and excited. I probably say that every single time that we get started.
We always pumped up and we're always freaking excited. Why shouldn't we, right?
That's like the slogan after the Power Couple, right? Man, this is going to be a phenomenal training. If you are excited about learning how to become the ultimate blogger, put it in the comments below. Let everyone know your excitement. We got about, wow, there's a lot of people here that just came out of nowhere. That's awesome. I love it. You know, get excited, man. We got about 131 people registered for tonight's event. Let's see how many of you guys actually show up tonight. I want you to put in the comments if you're excited, what you're expecting out of tonight. It is going to be an amazing training, an amazing webinar. We got special guests here, and we got a panel of lovely people looking so good, looking fine. This is 2015, right?
Yep.
I'm excited, baby. So let's have, you know, you should really schedule these things next time, right?
I know, man.
What we should do, I want you can go back to it in a minute. What I want is let's start from our left here. Let's have Daniel from Two People One Vision.
Daniel, come out here, buddy.
Mr. Whatever It Takes.
Mr. Whatever It Takes.
Whoa. That was a lot of energy there. No, go ahead, man. I want you to unmute yourself. Introduce yourself to the audience. Your excitement for tonight. I know you pretty much got some people out here, too. Let everyone know how excited you are. Go ahead, man.
Hey, what's up, everybody? This is Daniel Ford down in Jacksonville, Florida. I'm really pumped up, you know, because when you have an opportunity to sit down with a guy that everybody knows that has made it for what he's made his success from blogging, you know, it's really powerful. You know, you have opportunities in life, and you have to make the best of those opportunities. And when you have a chance to meet with a guy like this and be on a webinar and hear him talk firsthand, that promise you that is not an opportunity that you want to miss. You want to soak up as much knowledge and just take what he gives you and just run with it and just explode and make the best of it.
Word, man. I am excited, dude. Thank you for sharing that. That's the truth. I mean, I'm like a sponge tonight, you know? I'm a sponge tonight. I'm going to be soaking just about every single thing that this guy says. And I don't care if it's even, you know, something that has nothing to do with blogging. I'm going to soak it up anyway because he said it, you know? So I'm excited, man. We got a lot of people here. Put it in the comments here if you're excited. We got Alba, she's excited. We got Touche is excited. Keith is excited. Derek is excited. Genesis, Tanya, Paulina, Derek, Tessa, everybody. Natalia, everybody's excited, man. Let's do this. Let's have James Brown from New Zealand. Go ahead, introduce yourself to everyone and let everyone know what the heck you're excited about, man.
Hey guys, my name is James Brown. I'm out here in New Zealand, and I'm super excited to be on this call right now because the guy that we're listening to, oh my gosh, like he is the master blogger, and I'm just excited to hear what he's going to be sharing tonight. I want to be able to understand where this guy has been able to reach inside of himself and do the things that he was able to do when all of us struggle with will. You know, that's one of the biggest things that I struggle with myself, and I want to understand how he reached inside his heart to pull out things from himself to do the things that he's been able to do to reach the heights that he's been able to reach in such a short period of time. Guys, pay attention to what this guy's going to be sharing. Take some massive notes. I don't know who's here, but all I got to tell you is you got to get everything out of the room because the guy we're having on here, this is a chance of a lifetime. This is a webinar of a lifetime. People are not, you don't get time with people like this. Okay, so when I say get notes, I seriously mean go get your pen, stop what you're doing right now, get your pen and paper, and take notes like your life depends on it. That's it for now.
Yeah, man, that is true.
Yeah.
Taking the notes like your life depends on it. Absolutely right, man. This is going to be great, man. I have like I have like butterflies in my stomach because this is just gonna be
This
awesome.
is crazy. This is crazy, man.
You know, we just got message. Dave is running like a few minutes, right? He'll be here in like 5 or 10 minutes, which is great. Fine, because I love to talk anyway, and I know he loves to talk, so we'll be doing a lot of like talking competitions.
Man, I am so excited, man. I'm extremely grateful that you guys are on here, man. We're gonna be sharing with you some really awesome stuff. But why don't we go ahead and the next person up here?
Let's have Nico Washington from Maryland. Go ahead and introduce yourself. Tell everyone why you're excited before we get into the nice and the meat, you know? Go ahead, Nico.
Good evening, everybody. My name is Nico. Like Cassandra said, I'm from Maryland. My biggest excitement for tonight is just to once again be able to be face-to-face with David Wood. He's phenomenal. My leaders have learned from him, so why not continue to learn from those who are doing it and making it happen? So I'm just excited to add on to the knowledge I already have and to take things up a notch in 2015.
Word up, man. I love it. Look, people just keep getting registered. As we're here talking as Nico, I mean, I think Nico should talk more because the more Nico talks, the more registrants we continue to get.
Yeah, man.
Yeah, you're just a good talker, I guess, you know.
Yeah.
Let's have Regina and Arvo from North Carolina. Go ahead, introduce yourself to the crowd and let everyone know why you're so excited to be here tonight.
This is Regina, and I'm Arvo, and we are looking forward to seeing everything that this man has got to offer and everything. We want to know how he went from zero to hero, and we want to do the same exact thing. The whole thing is the man went from a van. I mean, we are looking, I have been worrying that we're going to be in the same position and everything. I've got enough to make the house payment, and that's about it and everything. So we want to go ahead and keep the electricity on, and we want to go ahead and go, just go. The whole thing is this man didn't have money to go ahead and spend on high advertising and everything else. I want to know what he did, what he organized, because the one thing we do have is we've got time, and I want to take that time and turn it into production. I want to turn it into money. I want to turn it into prosperity.
Woo! Yeah!
Man, he got the whole. You got me excited, dude. I'm gonna have you start all of the webinars like that, man. That was great. That was great. Arvo, the speaker, man. I didn't know you were such a natural speaker there, man. That's awesome. Hey, if you guys see a green screen, I see Touche's message out there. Just go ahead and refresh the page. But we are here. We are live. We are excited. Arvo just dropped some awesome excitement, and you might have missed it.
I'm freaking energetic right now.
I got explosions going on inside, man. All right,
damn,
Regina.
man,
I don't know if Regina wanted to add to anything because we kind of just interrupted it with the whole. Nope, she's like, I can't do that.
I can't follow that.
That's all good. That's all good. All right, let's have Devontae and Ian. They're the young hustlers of our group, the youngest of the group. And let me tell you guys, everyone on here isn't on here because they're just, cool, right? It's because they've earned their spot here.
Yes.
They've all made the public commitment that they want to take their 2015 to the next level. They went and started not only blogging, but they decided to be one of the elite members of Power Quantum. They're Black Card members, and they're all here. This is the youngest crew right here. This is the young hustlers. Let me have Devontae and Ian unmute yourselves if you can, and go ahead and let everyone know why you're excited to be here. It might have some connection error there. So I guess as they're working on that, man, do you guys even know where you're at today? Like, does everyone know where you are? Like, does anyone have any idea? I know you're like on a webinar with the Power Couple and the Power Couple and their team and stuff. Yeah, that's kind of true. But do you know where you're at? Like, do you know what's going on? Do they know what's going on?
Man, I don't even. Oh, another register, man.
Another one.
More people keep registering, man.
But
this is exciting, man. I know I'm extremely grateful that you guys are on here, and the time that we are going to be on here, guys. I really believe that you're going to be walking away from here, and you're gonna literally be able to have an action plan, be inspired, and really go out there and create the biggest results that you want in your life. Okay, I'm excited, right? I mean, because look, it's stories like this, right? A man living in a van. Okay, a man living in a van goes from literally just having a broken down, a cheap computer, okay, stealing Wi-Fi, to all of a sudden blogging himself out of poverty, right? And that just goes to show that you don't need a lot. You don't need to have all of these resources, right? You just have to learn how to be resourceful enough, right? Have a strong why and be willing to do whatever it takes to make it happen, okay? Look, man, we can kind of relate with David Wood, okay? Because last year in 2014, we flew out to Seattle, one-way ticket, okay? Not knowing where we were going to stay, not knowing how we were going to do it, with negative $4 in our bank account, okay? And literally went out there on faith, because we wanted to change our lives, right? We wanted to change our lives. And this upcoming, in the next couple of days, couple of weeks, there's going to be an event again, right? But anyways, going back to last year, what ended up happening? What did we have to go through? What was our story like? Just to share with them as we're waiting for David Wood to come out.
Absolutely, man. We're going to share our story in just a second, but I just want everyone to understand this, guys. You are hanging out with Power Quantum, man. You're hanging out with Power Quantum. This is the Power Quantum crew right here. If those of you who are going to be in Vegas, come meet us out there. Everyone you see here on the panel is going to be there. Power Quantum, and you might hear us start chanting like Power Quantum, Power Quantum. Like we might go crazy like that. You know what I'm saying? But anyway, let me tell you something real quick, right? Let me tell you what to expect out of tonight. Okay, tonight this is what's going to happen. Okay, number one, the first thing that you're going to understand is that blogging has the potential to take you from where you are and catapult you to where you want to be. No joke. I am not saying this with any hype, even though I'm hyped up. I'm not saying this with enthusiasm, even though I'm enthusiastic. I am literally saying this because it is the truth. It has the potential to take you from where you are and catapult you to where you want to be. It can shorten that gap in just a few months by being consistent with it. Now, the second thing you're going to learn is what a blog even is. I don't know about you, but when we first got started online, when we started our own business, I had no idea what a blog even meant. I was like, what is a blog? What is like it sounded so funny to me, like blog. Like, what's a blog? Like, I just didn't get it. I didn't understand what the heck that word even meant. What was it supposed to do? The purpose of it, right? But you're going to find out what it actually is. And the third thing you're going to find out is how one man literally blogged himself out of poverty and into just wealth, right? Into wealth, right? How did he do that? What was the steps he did? What kind of blogging did he do? And what just what he did, right? And the last thing you're gonna learn is how if you already have a blog, right? How you're gonna get more traffic to that blog. That's what you're gonna learn. How to get more traffic to that blog. Man, there's just so much going on, and I'm just excited about it. We just have another one who popped up here. Natalia, go ahead, introduce yourself to everyone. Let everyone know why you're so excited right before we get into it. Go ahead.
Hey, what's up? Can you hear me?
We can hear you loud and clear, man.
I've got a couple things going on here. All right, hi!
There we go. Woo! Power Quantum in the house.
What up, baby?
What's up? I'm up in Vegas. I just wanted to say what's up and thank you so much to all the people that I put this out to, and I know they're registered and they're on tonight and they're watching. What's up, $1 Million Girls 2015 grind? I'm so excited to be like locking arms with Paulo and Cassandra. This is absolutely amazing opportunity. I think everybody, grab your pens, grab your papers, like take notes and just realize how big this is and how great this is. And we have this event coming in Vegas. I'm so excited because you guys are coming to my hood. Woo! Anyways, I'm excited and let's do this tonight. I can't wait to meet David Wood.
Word up, yeah. We're excited. So, man, I know there's a lot of people who are on the same boat as us, baby. Like, there's a lot of people here who are like, yeah, I have no idea what a blog is either. Yeah. So, just get your notebooks out like Natalia said. I want you to make sure you are literally sitting. Look, is Tessa here? Tessa, it's like 2 o'clock in the morning where she is, and she's still here. She was on our show earlier. It was 12 o'clock at that time. What was that? That was 5:30 or something.
She's got a whatever it takes mentality, man.
It's like 3 in the morning over there. Shout out to you, Tessa.
Shout out to you, Tessa.
Put yourself in a learning environment, right? Put yourself in an environment that's conducive to learning, right? I said that twice, 2 different ways, so you can get it. And I'm going to say it one more time in a different way. Get in a quiet room so you can really digest and internalize the information that is about to be said here. Okay?
Yeah, yeah.
So get your notebooks out, because I'm telling you, it is gonna be awesome, right? You know, who knew that blogging is a pipeline to your bank account? Like, seriously, that is ridiculous. Now, if you have a business, blogging is gonna help you brand it. If you don't, you're gonna learn how to use it to get you some money, right?
Exactly.
We're just gonna talk about different things, but let's talk about the story. You did ask me a really powerful question, and it was like, where were we, right? Where were we when we first got started online? You know, Dave is gonna tell his story later, but when we first got started, we were about 5 months backed up in rent, right? You know, we didn't start out 5 months backed up in rent. We ended up like, 1 month, okay, 2 months backed up in rent. All right, now it's 3 months backed up in rent. We were just completely broke, all right? We were in the lowest of lows. We had not a dime to our name, no savings, no nothing. We were living in a basement of somebody's home, and it was so, like, it wasn't a pleasing place to live.
It was not a pleasing place to live.
I was afraid to
just tell them the truth.
I was afraid to go to the kitchen, right? Because there was crickets, right? I don't like bugs. So
Yeah,
I mean, you might when you guys meet me in Vegas, I know I'm a 3rd degree black belt and whatnot, but I'm afraid of bugs. Like, I'm not that I'm afraid. I'm annoyed. Okay, maybe I'm afraid. I don't know. I don't like bugs. Just don't like them. And so crickets, that's not fun, because they hop, and then they're unpredictable. It's nasty. So anyway, I would hate to go into the kitchen because it was just muggy. It was damp. It was just disgusting. And I was like afraid to even just make something. And there was nothing really ever to make anyway. And I remember selling, we sold just about everything. Name some of the things that we sold, baby.
Man, let me tell you something. We, by the end of right when we were right before we flew to Seattle last year, like, we had gotten rid of our bed frame, right? We had gotten rid of our tables. We had gotten rid of, like, our whole
dresser.
Our dresser.
We got rid of the pots that we cook in, because we weren't cooking. There was nothing to cook.
It got so crazy that it got to the point where, like, I was holding on to something that made me feel rich. Like, there's like 1 or 2 things like you guys hold on to that kind of makes you feel like it makes you feel like good, right? And I had like these silver coins, right? I might be a little weird here, but I like to collect silver coins, right? And I was collecting these silver coins, and then it came to the point where we needed to trade in the silver coins to go to an event, right? And I remember, man, I was okay with selling the bed frame. I was okay with selling the dresser. I was even okay with selling the damn cat, okay? But what I was not okay, and what really hurt me, was when I had to pawn my silver coins. I actually remember going to the car, and I remember crying, because I'm like, damn, the only thing that made me feel rich, I have to trade it in, right? But, isn't it so funny that sometimes, you have to make certain sacrifices just temporarily so you can kind of move up to the next level, right? Because I knew that even though the coins, I was emotionally attached the way maybe some of you guys are emotionally attached to certain things, I also knew that I can always come back and get it. And I sold my coins, man.
Absolutely.
I sold my precious silver coins, and it was so sad, right? Because we literally got rid of everything, right? And we're not telling you to literally do this, right? But the common thread with successful people is that they're willing to do whatever it takes, right? I mean, if today was your last day, what would you go out and do? I mean, one of the things that we like to say is that, live every single day as if it was your last day, so then when your last day finally comes, you're ready to go.
You're ready.
You're ready to go to heaven, man.
You know what I'm saying?
You're like, take me now. I'm good.
Let's do it.
I mean, think about it. I think that a lot of the times, a lot of people are scared to die or pass away simply because they're not ready to go yet. They still know that inside of them, there's something that has not yet been pulled out, like been drawn out, right? And our special guest, David Wood, he's so great at this. When we got started, it was the belief, man. It was the belief that this man had that really kept us going, that really kept us, wanting to continue to keep moving, and of course, God as well, but the truth is, I'm excited. I'm pumped up, but that's where we were.
Yeah, man, we were stuck. We were stuck, and when we finally started understanding this blogging thing, right? What is a blog? How does blogging work? We began to start implementing it, and momentum began to start to happen. And literally now, I mean, there's not money's never an issue. Let's just put it that way. It's not an issue anymore. Whereas before, it was like, what are we gonna eat tonight? Search the entire apartment for some cash, for some change.
Yeah.
I remember one night.
That used to be the problem, right?
Yeah. And it no longer is. It no longer is. But the thing is that when we first got started, we were kind of like you guys. Teach me how to get blogging in a way where I can start, you know, increasing my bank account. Please teach me that.
Teach me
that, right? And what happens is once you start getting it, your vision begins to evolve. All right? It begins to evolve. It's no longer about, hey, you know, I need to learn X, Y, and Z. It begins to become more about, hey, you know, I want to help everyone else get X, Y, and Z, right? I want to show you. This is the reason why we're hosting this training tonight, because we want you to be presented with the same opportunity that we were presented with the same insight that we began to understand about a year ago about how powerful blogging really is. You know, and the only way that you're really going to get it is if you stick all the way to the end of this webinar. It's not going to hit you like in a second, right? It's not going to make sense right away. But if you stick all the way through, you're going to realize that maybe you don't really understand everything, but you know that Power Quantum and what we have here and the blogging that you can have is really going to help you change the rest of what 2015 can look like. Now, I want to share something with you before we really get into it. I mean, Dave is going to be hopping on here. And so what I want you guys to understand is this, right? If you want to understand this, if you want to really get what's about to happen, the only way that you're going to be able to internalize it, if you understand this one word. And I was talking about this with everyone on the panel here right before we went live, and that word is desperation, okay? When you think of the word desperate, most people think of, you know, ew, like, why, stop being desperate, right? A lot of people think of it like that, like it's just annoying, it is a nuisance, it is like, you know, who are you to get desperate, right? It becomes like, ugh, right? When really, that's not the case. When you're desperate for something, what actually happens is that you never get disconnected from it. Never get disconnected from it. Man, if I were you, I would write that down right now. That in itself can be a blog. That in itself can be a blog, right? When you're desperate about something, you will never be disconnected from it, ever. Think about it like this, man. If I'm desperate for my husband, I'll never be disconnected from him.
Absolutely.
Ever. If I'm desperate for my goals and dreams, I will never be disconnected from my goals and dreams. How many of you guys ever woke up, right? And you wake up and you feel like, I don't want to step out of this freaking room. I don't want to get out of bed. I want to lock the door. I don't want to see anybody. In fact, I don't feel like doing jack today. Well, hopefully you don't know who Jack is, and you shouldn't be doing Jack, right? Right? Anyway, right? You know, how many guys ever felt like that, where you're just like, I'm not doing anything. I'm going to stay in this bed. Like, you have no desire for anything, anyone, work, action, no. Laziness, sleep, bed, television. That's all that's in your mind, right? How many of you guys ever had that day before? Raise your hand if you're on the panel if you've ever felt like that. And if you're out there in the audience, go ahead and put it in the comments and say, hell yeah, I felt like that before. I'm not going to lie, right? I'm not going to lie. I've been like that, right? If you've ever felt like that, raise your hand, okay? Don't lie to me. We're human. No one in the, okay, cool. Natalia's the only honest one here. Oh, or everyone's just stuck or something. Anyway, right? If you've ever felt like that, did you realize that the only time you feel like that is when you are unclear or clouded by where you're going? When you have no purpose for what the day even holds. That is the only time that you feel like that. So think about that. The reason why we get disconnected or clouded by the direction we are heading our life into is because we take for granted for what we have today. We always think that tomorrow will be there. We think that next month will be there. Look, I'm giving you massive ideas of blogging, those of you who already know what a blog is, right? You think that next year will be there. You think that every day is going to be there. 5 years from now will always be there. And the truth is no. No, it's not. It's not always going to be there. It isn't always going to be there. In fact, you don't even know if tomorrow's going to be there. How do I know that you think that way? Is because that's how procrastination exists. Procrastination exists because you think you have tomorrow. Oh, it can wait. I have tomorrow. No, I don't have to make a decision tonight to start blogging because I have tomorrow. No, those of you who are already thinking like that, you need to leave the webinar. You need to think, I need this blog today, right? Today. That's how procrastination exists, right?
Absolutely.
So think about today. Let's pretend today is a tangible thing, okay? Tangible thing, like this beautiful angel. I don't know why it's sitting there. I have no idea why it's sitting there, right? But pretend today is this. If I gave you today, if I said, Alba, this is your today. Here, that's today. If I say Genesis, Lanisha, right? I'm looking at the comments here. Here's your today, right? If I say Regina, Arvo, Nico, this is your today, right? If I give this to you, and it's a tangible thing, don't you ask yourself, why in the world do I have today? Why was I given today? Why was I given today? What is the purpose of today? Why do I have this? Do you realize that someone had their last night? Someone had that. But you got the gift of today. You're able to hold it. You need to say, what am I going to do with today to make it useful? How am I going to make today worthwhile? Because you don't know if you're going to get another one. But you got it. Someone else didn't. You did. How are you going to make today worthwhile? See, when you live your life like that, and you say, holy crap, I have today, this is all I have, you start thinking more proactively, you start thinking about decisions now, you start taking action now. Like, let me ask you, if you were to die today, would you be completely satisfied with the things you've done in this world? I wouldn't. There's so much more I need to do. There's so much more I need to do. And let me tell you something. Blogging is a platform to express what I have in here to the entire world.
Amen.
There is so much inside of me that I want to give to this world. And let me tell you something. Blogging is a way to do that. Man, some of you who don't know what a blog is, understand this, right? If I go on Google and I search how to take out a splinter from my finger, I'm going to find a blog. I guarantee I will find a blog that teaches me, right? Teaches me how to get a splinter out of my freaking finger.
Out of her finger, man.
Out of my finger. Why? Right? That's what blogs do. That's crazy. What blogs do. What are people searching, and how can you be the one thing that they see that can get them a solution to their problem? How do you think Dave did it? How do you think Dave went from a van into wealth?
Dude, he started solving problems.
He started solving problems.
I mean, and that's really what it comes down to, right? You go, Reverend Cassandra.
That's what it is, guys. That's why when we say live today as if it was your last. I'm talking about being desperate, guys.
Yeah.
You need to be desperate to succeed, and this is the only way you're gonna understand the words that are gonna come out of that man's mouth when he gets here. You got to be desperate for it, because if you're not desperate for it, it's going to go right over your head. You're going to miss out on the opportunity in front of you. I believe every single day there's an opportunity, because then why would you be living it?
Powerful.
If you woke up today, don't you think there was a reason why? It's like, why did I wake up today? There must be some type of opportunity I must take advantage of. Because if not, then maybe you should have had your last night like someone else did.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Every day is an opportunity. Be desperate for what is about to be said tonight, and take full advantage of it. Man, if you're getting it, put it in the comments and tell me, like, I'm freaking pumped, man. Like, let me know, are you getting it? Are you understanding the words that are coming out of my mouth, right? Yeah, that was definitely, rush hour. Man, I love it, guys. I love it. Blogging is really a way to solve problems. Talk about that, Damien.
Man, absolutely, man. I mean, look, listen, if you think about it, how you get paid in this world, it's simple. I mean, you just solve people's problems, right, at a profit. That's really what an entrepreneur / business person is really defined, right? Somebody solving people's problems, right, at a profit, right? So if you got to understand, when you start blogging, when you start doing your blogs, you also have to have the intention that someone out there is frustrated, doesn't really understand how to get the solution, and they're looking for a way to understand it, right? And that's when you position yourself, number one, as the authority, because, look, listen, it's like the weirdest thing in the world. But when people see your blog, when people see you on video, when people see you online, right, the truth is that they automatically assume that you're an expert, right? Even if you're not, you don't believe in yourself. The truth is that is the perception that someone has about you, right?
Yep.
Because perception is reality. You see, let me just be honest with you. We have one of our elite members on this webinar, okay? Her name is Nico Washington, okay? Nico never knew this, okay? But when we did the webinar, when we signed her up, we were living in the school of someone's karate school.
We were living in a closet of a karate school.
We were living in a closet of a karate school, okay?
Sleeping on a sleeping bag.
On a sleeping bag,
on the floor.
But the truth is, Nico never had any idea until now, right? And the truth is, now she's probably saying like, "Holy, I just found out," right? But look, because that's what blogging does, right? That's what being online does, right? It automatically positions you as the authority, right? And yes, those days weren't pretty. Those days weren't favorable. Those days weren't the best, right? But at the same time, it's what we had to go through, right, to really get to where we are now. And really, where we are now is not where we want to stay, because you're going to start understanding that as you start succeeding, as you start blogging, as you start solving people's problems, as you start making money online, because blogging is a simple way to do it, right? You're going to start realizing that when you start succeeding, it's almost like when you take your last breath. You got to breathe again, right? I mean, you can't be satisfied off of your last breath.
You can't live off of it.
You can't live off of your last breath, which is the same reason why this is going to be exciting when we bring David Wood on here, right? David Wood is really going to share with you guys how he's literally gone from living in a van, showering on the beaches, right?
Yes.
Of Hawaii or whatever.
Think about it, man. You honestly think that he did it just by blogging? No, I was telling everyone here, blogging was just the vehicle. It was just the vehicle that he used. But it was the fact that he was desperate. He was desperate to succeed. And when you meet this man, oh, warn me, yo. Warn me.
Got snapped.
Warn me when you're about to take a picture. I will smile for you, baby. I will smile, right? And check this out, guys, right? Listen, he was desperate to succeed. And like I said, when you meet this man, not only was he desperate to succeed for himself, but he was so desperate to succeed for you guys tonight. Because when you hear his story, the decisions that he made to continue pushing forward, to get out of the van and live a life of true freedom, all has to do with you being here tonight. Because if he never did, would you honestly be here tonight? Would we be having him on this webinar? Would you be here to learn from him? No. And you don't know, man, what he might say to you tonight can potentially change the rest of what 2015 looks like. Do you realize that? Do you realize how powerful that is? Yeah, I just sent it to her. Okay? That is huge. That is huge, guys. Now change that and flip it to yourself. What decision can you make tonight? What decision do you think that you need to make tonight that if you don't make it, you are literally preventing meeting people like this one day and helping them change their life?
Yeah, you know what?
Think about that.
Sometimes, you know, I actually remember one time when we were, I was actually testing for my black belt test, right? And obviously, this is going to play with what we're going to share here, right? I was taking my black belt test, okay? I was afraid because, number one, I knew people were going to try to knock my head out, okay? Not only did I know that, it was said that they were going to knock me out, okay? And you know what? I'm going to be honest with you, okay? If you've ever taken a roundhouse kick by one of these black belt people, man, it hurts, okay? And most of the times, it puts you down, right? And I actually remember specifically when we were doing, it was called Bull in the Ring or something. I don't know what it was called.
It was like one person in the middle, and then one person fights, and then out of nowhere, the instructor calls someone else, and you got to be ready to fight the other one too.
Exactly, yeah. So you're like fighting, so like mad people. And I remember looking at my wife, and she's like, "Don't be afraid, man. Just get in there, man. Just get in there.
Just get in."
And all of a sudden, I just kind of let go. I let go of this fear that I had. Like a lot of you guys have this fear of, man, I don't know how to blog. I'm afraid to shoot videos. And I got knocked down. And you know what? It was a beautiful thing because when I got knocked down, I literally got like a roundhouse kick right to my face. I dropped. But when I got up, there was nothing to be afraid anymore. It was almost like I needed to get knocked down to feel that it wasn't even as bad as I thought. I didn't even feel it.
Yeah, man.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, talking about that, look, that just goes to show as human beings, what we like to do is inflate situations and instead of looking at it for what they are. I mean, Dave just got here, right? And he's going to come out in a second and share some things. But let me tell you something. You don't think that in the situation that he was in, right, living in a van, right, not knowing what tomorrow's going to even hold. Can he even survive the next day, right? You know, can you imagine that moment? Don't you think he had the right to inflate that situation?
Man.
Like, he's living in a freaking van, right? But instead, right? Instead, he was so desperate to succeed that he flipped it and said, I'm going to do something about this, right? I'm going to do something about this. And thank God he did, because everyone out here, man, those of you who are out here going crazy on these comments, you need to understand that it's because of that one decision of being desperate for something that he knew he truly deserved, that he knew that you deserve, is the reason why we're on here tonight. Yeah. And you got to ask yourself, what can you do today to make a decision that's going to allow you to position yourself to one day help change many other lives the same way?
Absolutely.
Man, it's an effect here, guys.
Yeah.
It's an effect. What are we so afraid of? No, man, you can't be afraid of, man. Look, people are saying who would win in a fight between Paolo and Cassandra.
We actually have a video. You know, we'll share with you guys some other time.
We'll show it to you sometime.
It's me. It's of course me getting my butt kicked.
Well, you guys know, you know, he came to learn martial arts. I was the sensei.
She was the sensei, yeah.
You know, and so, you know, let's just leave it at that.
We'll leave it at that.
Now, can I share a story real quick?
Go
can I
for
share
it.
a story?
Yeah.
Actually, I'm going to blog about this too, right? Check this out, right? Paolo and I, I think we were dating at the time, and we're at the karate school, and we broke out into like this match, because, you know, on the dojo, everything is legal, so, you know, we don't have to worry about anything, right? So we're fighting. And I get him in like an ankle lock, right? I get him in an ankle lock, and I'm like ripping his leg out, right? Right, baby?
Yeah, a little bit.
Yeah, okay. And
I was kind of giving it to her.
No, don't even play. This guy cheats, right? This guy cheats, and he's like, he starts tickling me. Now that, I will die from being tickled. Like that, I can't handle it. I can't. It's just something I can't handle. He starts tickling me, right? So I loosen up, and he's like, no, I'm just kidding. I'm done. I'm tired. So I'm like, you sure? He's like, yeah. I'm like, you sure? He's like, yeah. I get up. I start walking away. What does he do? What do I hear? Right? He starts running after me, and he tries to take me down again. I was like, you little cheater.
Man,
like,
you got to do whatever it takes.
No,
I'm just playing around.
Just to share that quick story, so those of you who are betting on me, you're probably right. No, I'm just kidding. This guy actually gotten a lot better, and I don't know if I can handle him now. He's really good. But, man, let me tell you guys, tonight is going to be epic, man. If there's one thing that you got so far, it's to be desperate for your goals. Be desperate for your dreams. Don't let tonight you don't want to miss anything, right? Don't miss it. Catch it, right? And the other thing that you can probably get out of tonight is, man, today is a gift, and when you got it, you got to use it effectively.
You got to use it right now.
Use it right now. Take advantage of it, and let's get excited, man. Dave, I don't know if you're there. Are you there? I know I see your beautiful picture there of you and Priscilla. Can you hear us?
Yeah, I can hear you. How you doing?
Good, man. Good. What's up?
Great, man. Good seeing you.
Hey, good seeing you guys too. You know, in fact, I didn't even know you guys were martial arts. No, I was thinking about myself, I didn't even know you guys did martial arts, to be truthful with you. That explains, like, you know, the Paul Gardner relationship right there. So I'm always hearing fight stories, because fighting is it really is a good metaphor, because the things that happen when you're fighting are the same things that kind of happen to you when you are building any kind of a business. So I apologize for being late, by the way. It took me like an hour to get on here late. I'll end up being late to my next hangout now too, but it's okay. Yeah, all of you should join and then get on that one too. No, fighting's a great metaphor. A lot of things in it, you know. I didn't hear all that story because I popped on in the middle of you getting kicked in the face, but just getting kicked in the face, and then you're like, it doesn't matter anymore. Because I've been kicked already, you know what I mean? One time I had a friend in Hawaii, his name's Josh. Josh was actually in Empower Network, although I don't think he's doing anything. But he's a friend he used to work with me at Greenpeace, and he's actually a martial artist too. He's a Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu guy, and like did a few fights, you know, in MMA championships. And he won. He won like 2 or 3, and then he just stopped doing it because it's not really his thing. But he's really, really good martial artist, good at Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu. And so he goes in and fights a really good striker, and his first fight. And he'd never really fought a good striker before, and the guy was just beating the fuck out of him. I mean, to be truthful, just punching him in the face, kicking him in the legs, and like he couldn't take it. You know, it was like he was taking like a pounding, trying to get in, but then the guy would hit him, right? So he managed to kind of like get pounded in his way through like the first round, right? And then in the break, talking to his coach, he was sitting there, and he's like, I can't handle this, dude. I'm just getting my ass kicked. And he's like, this hurts. This hurts, right? And his coach, you know, he just said, go in, take the hits, take more hits than you're taking because you're backing off. Don't back off, and take him down, because once he's on the ground, you'll own it, right? Now, that's advice that's good to a grappler, not very good to a striker, right? And that's what he did. So he goes in, takes like some real good, you know, punches and elbow poundings for about 10 seconds, takes him down and submits the guy in like 5 seconds more. Because then he was in his territory, right? And that's a great metaphor by itself, because you could use it for a lot of things. You could say, always fight where you're strong, right? If you're in a fight, what distance do you want to be in? It's the distance that you control the best, because different martial arts control different distances the best. Karate is better, long range point striker and continuously backing off. Kung Fu is better at about this distance than most martial arts. It's about where they fight. And grappling is better if you're any closer than that, right? And so always fight where you're strong, right? You could also use that metaphor in your life to, you know, you should always fight in life in your strengths. Because if you go and try to play out in life like you're good at things that you're not, it doesn't really usually work out that well for you. You know what I mean? That's why in Power Network, for example, we build it in the way that we build it, is because we realize that people have different skills and abilities. And it's not just different skills, it's actually different natural abilities that people have. Some people are really good at selling. Other people are not good at it. And it's not that they can't be good at it ever, but they probably won't be good at it for 10 years, and then they're really not going to be that good still, right? Some people are really good process people. Other people could never be good process people in their life, like me. Like, I've tried, but no matter how much better I get at being a process guy, I'm still worse than people that are naturally good at it who aren't even really trying, right? So people always have strengths and weaknesses. That's a great metaphor for martial arts. I could give a million more. I could give the one where if you go into business and get kicked in the face, most people, they say, oh, I can't take it anymore, I'm not going to fight anymore. But a better response is to say, there's nothing left to be afraid of, right? It's a great metaphor too. So I like martial arts as a metaphor, and of course it's what I like to do martial arts just because I like them. I don't really fight in professional fights or anything like that, because I don't want to get my head pounded in for a living, because my head is how I make my living. But other people like doing it, and I totally respect it. You know what I'm saying? I can hit hard. In fact, one time I was in Mexico, and this is like this is close to 2.5 years ago. This is back in like maybe November of 2012. And I was walking along the road, and some dude was like messing with some chick, right? And I said, hey, cut it out. And he didn't. I said, one last chance, cut it out. He didn't. So I walked up and socked him in the face. So the guy, he lifts off the ground, and he was about my size. Flew about 10 feet back, turned vertical, and just landed smack on his back in convulsions. And, you know, just sometimes you just, you know, don't have a lucky day if you're picking on somebody smaller than you. And, you know, but that's a good example too, you know. It's a powerful thing to develop skills that you think you'll never use or you might not need to use, but then someday you might need them. See, because in this business, when you guys make a decision on what you're really going to do, on whether you're going to do it or not, which is really the decision that you need to make. It's not a decision on whether to join. It's not a decision on whether or not to buy the inner circle or get all in or go to the event. It's a decision on whether you're going to do this or you're not going to do it. That's the real decision that I always try to get people to make. And I say try because I'm not trying. I'm going to do it, but I don't know who I'm going to affect, right? There's always somebody I affect. I always get somebody to make a decision that they're going to do it. See, because when you make that decision, all the other decisions are automatically made. That's the beautiful thing about making the right decisions. When you make the right decision, you don't need to keep redeciding all the time, right? And most people go through their life redeciding all the time. It's like you go into a fight in a ring, and you say, I don't know if I really want to be here, you know? You're going to get your face pounded in. That's not a good thought to be running through your mind if you've already stepped in the ring. You should have made the decision that you're going to fight with everything And no matter what happens, before you ever decided to schedule the fight, especially before you decided to actually walk in the ring, there's a million different things you could be doing with your day. You could be watching someone else fight. You could be watching a movie. You could be out on a date with your spouse. There's a million things you could do, but you made a decision to go in there, and so questioning it is not a good plan, right? And same thing with Empower Network. Same thing with being in this team. A lot of people, they make a decision every day, but they're not really deciding anything, but they make a decision every single day. Their decision is like, you know, do I buy the inner circle or not? That's an example of a decision people shouldn't be making, because you should never actually be making a decision on whether you're going to buy a product or not, right? You should be making a decision on whether you're going all in or not, right? You shouldn't be making a decision on whether you're going to Vegas or not. Those are the wrong decisions, right? And people think we're trying to get them to make those decisions. They're thinking we're trying to sell them something or something like that. Not really, because if you don't make the actual decision, none of this stuff even matters at all, and you may as well just quit, right? Because it's not going to work for you. And what's the actual decision? It's, is this what you're going to do, right? Is this what you're going to do? And if it's not what you're going to do, then don't do it. And then you don't need to buy the inner circle. You don't need to get the products. You don't need to get all in. You don't need to go to the event. And you might as well go and do what you want. You could buy those products and get value from them and go apply them somewhere else if you choose. Fine. We're not going to ever pressure somebody to do something that they really don't want to do and they haven't decided to do, right? But if this is what you're going to do, right, and you've decided that, then you should not ever be deciding about those other things, because those other things come with the decision to do things. Because if you don't do those things, you can't do this. It won't work. Right? And it's not because you can't earn commissions in the comp plan, because obviously we let people earn compete their way up to the comp plan by selling. Right? It's one of the things that's like, you know, part of pyramid scheme laws. You have to do that if you own a company. You know what I mean? We can't force people to buy a product to get a commission and stuff like that. It's not because of that. It's because if you don't make the commitments, you are just not going to make money here. You won't. I promise you, you won't. I promise you that it will not work for you at all. You can see our income disclosure for all the people who never decided to do this. If you're not all in, if you're not all committed inside, right? And when you're all in, when you're really all in, and that's just not a financial commitment, that's a commitment that you're going to do this no matter what. That's really what it is, right? That's really the decision you make. When you make that decision, right, you don't have to redecide all the time. You just are coming up with a way to get the job done. You know what I mean? Let me give you the difference between somebody who's deciding and somebody who hasn't. Somebody who hasn't is like, well, you know, I don't really know if I can make it to Vegas. It's a week out, right? But they've been thinking that for months. They've been, I don't know if I can make it, it's 3 months out. I don't know if I can make it, it's 2 months out. Well, I mean, tomorrow the price is increasing, so if you couldn't make it, like, if it's a financial question, well, you better do it soon, right? Because then, especially, you're not going to be able to do it if the price goes up, right? And the price will go up tomorrow, right? So, but it's not really a financial decision, is it? And maybe you've thought that it is. Maybe you're like, oh, I'll do it if I start making money by then I'll do it. Oh, if I make money in the next week, then they'll show me that it works, and then I'll do it. No, it won't work unless you believe it'll work first, right? It works when your belief and your actions create it, right? That's how this industry works. You don't get faith by seeing something. You see what you see with faith first, and your life's like that. And if you don't think so, I'm just telling you, it's like that, right? You don't become a millionaire because you see yourself making $1 million actually after it happens. You become a millionaire because you see it in your mind long before it happens, right? And eventually you see that so much you start believing it, and then you start acting like you believe it, and then all of a sudden all of your outcomes and your decisions, they just automatically change, right? All your outcomes and your decisions just automatically change. They just change. Why do they change? They change because you've changed, because what you see is different, because you had faith, right? So your decisions are different once you've decided once. Decide once. And it's a lot better. It actually takes a lot less energy. Like, I decided, I'll give you an example of a decision. I decided, right? When did I decide to start Empower Network? March of 2011. Okay? We started in October 31st. I decided to start it in March, right? And the decision was made, this is what I'm going to do, okay? Now, I didn't actually know at that time I was also going to stop doing all the other things I was doing. I just thought I would add this, right? But then it just ended up taking so much time, I had no longer an ability to build my other downlines and teams that I was in. I wasn't actually leaving what I was doing to do this. That's actually not how I started Empower. I just started it because I decided that I wanted to do something where my team could actually make money. Not a lot of people know that, but that's true, right? But I made a decision once, okay? And here I am, through every problem that we've had, through everybody that's left, everybody that's came back, right? Here I am, 2015, okay? 2015 is 3.5 years later, right? Almost 4 years later from when I made the decision. Still acting on the same decision I made 4 years ago, okay? That's what a decision does. I have never once questioned whether or not I will do this since I decided, right, 7 months before the company existed. I've never questioned it because I decided already. See, if you make a decision you're going to do this, you don't need to re-decide to go to every event. You don't need to re-decide to listen to the inner circle. You don't need to re-decide that you're going to participate in this promotion. You don't need to re-decide the blog, right? You've decided. You decided years ago, right? You decided years ago. You make the decision once. See, that's the decision you need to make, so are you going to do this or not? Are you going to do this with us or not? And if the answer is not, hey, dude, I'm cool. If you want to dip your toe in the water and that's what you want to do, that's what you want to do. Cool. But don't pretend you decided to do it. Don't pretend you tried it and it didn't work. Don't pretend, oh, it didn't work for me. Because those statements have no bearing on reality ever. The reality is, it works for you because you force it to. Because you decided. And then all the appropriate action decisions along the way get made even when it hurts. You get kicked in the face and you're like, I've taken the biggest punch I can take. What more is there, universe? You know what I mean? Yeah, it's like I've had some things happen over the last few years that are much harder than the obstacles most of you face running Empower Network. Much harder. I won't talk about all of them or probably talk about really much of what they are. But I've had bigger obstacles than any of your excuses. You know what I mean? Like, sometimes people are like, oh, I can't get all in because, you know, it's like $5 grand or whatever, right, depending on where you are in the process. Right now, there's actually a discount. It's also going away in a few days. But you're like, oh, I can't do it because of X reason. This is why I can't do it. And you really look at your reason, right? And if you look at it like you're another person, if you imagine yourself looking at somebody else making that excuse, and just for a second imagine you're a person that makes no excuses, it looks completely and totally pathetic and full of bullshit, doesn't it? Doesn't it just look like you're full of shit? When you make that same excuse, but then you're looking at yourself from another position of a person that makes, imagine for a second you're a person that makes no excuses, that you were homeless and lived in a van, and that you had to come up with resources, and you did, and then you worked your way into making millions of dollars, and you freely give and teach that information to other people, right, even when they don't listen to it. And then you're sitting there watching another person who has more money than you did when you started, right, make an excuse that I can't do it because I don't have the money. Imagine how stupid that looks if you're that person, right? It looks completely fucking stupid, and that's true. That's the way people with no excuses look at people with excuses. It's just like, hey, dude, just admit it. You make an excuse. Just admit what it is. Just admit it. You know what I mean? Just admit it, right? Just admit it. Sometimes you get in a fight and you lose, right? And you could make an excuse and you could say, oh well, you know, I lost because you know. My arm was sweaty. Or you could say, well, you know, the person beat me. You know what I mean? You could say, oh, I didn't decide. I tried Empower Network and it didn't work. Right? Whatever. You started it with the intention of failing if you say that. Right? Because I know that if you quit, it's because you started with the intention of quitting. Because if you'd made the decision to do it, you'd still be in, fixing what you're doing wrong and adjusting it until it works. Right? You'd still be doing it. You would still be doing it. And if you're not doing it anymore, it's not because it doesn't work, because other people around you, heck, today, I mean, here, let me log in here real quick. Refresh the screen here. I'll go to Rankings tab, which is this admin thing that I have, and I'll check how many people today made over $1,000. It's the 15th. That's your income disclosure. I'm talking to people who want to be affiliates here. Today, okay, there have been 18 people so far, and the day's not done, who've made over $1,000. That's from 12:01 a.m. Eastern Time this morning. Okay? That's what that server time runs on. So today, 18 people in Empower have made over $1,000. 18 of them. Right? So you're like, oh, I tried that, it doesn't work. Well, today, 18 people made over $1,000. So obviously, you... Huh?
Just wanted to congratulate
Geraldine Johnson, who just got started right now. Congratulations to you, by the way.
Great decision for making that, man.
This is someone who's already taking action on the things that not only Dave Wood is saying, not only that we're saying, right? You're taking action on it.
Absolutely.
Being desperate for what you want.
Well, yeah.
You know, making the decision. Now it's all about managing it, just like Dave Wood is saying, man. Manage that decision and just keep going forward. Go ahead, Dave. Keep going, man. You're kicking ass.
Yeah, well, that's it. That's it. So I mean, people are like, you know, and that's the thing. It's like sometimes people think they decide when they buy something. They're like, well, I decided to do it and it didn't work, right? So you're saying it didn't work, meaning you quit. So when did you decide that this is what you're going to do? Because that's like, well, I decided to, I decided to be a doctor, but like, I made the decision to do it no matter what. But the school was real hard, so I dropped out my first month. Right? Well, you never decided, because if you decided, you would have done it no matter what. You know what I mean? It's like, oh, I decided to be a great martial artist, but they practice like 6 hours a day, and I did that for like 2 days, and then it was like I decided not to do it. So, in other words, you never made a decision you were going to be a professional martial artist. Let's not make excuses because of how hard it is. This is your excuse, not the excuse of the universe, not the excuse of God, not his fault, right? Somebody's like, oh, the Holy Ghost, the Holy Spirit told me to join this business, but I really, feel like God's telling me that he doesn't want me to be rich. It's like, so when you feel something, you say it's God's decision for you, right? So you're going to put your bipolar attitude and make it God's fault? Because he obviously changes his mind all the time. Not really, right? Oh, I was going to do it, but then I saw you buy something and then there's an upsell. Oh, so you were going to do it unless something happened that you didn't like. So in other words, you weren't open ever. Like, this is a great way of chasing off every good mentor that you can ever have in your life, right? It's like, let's say I have a mentor. Let's say I've ran a company that does $150 million. That's done $150 million in sales in the last few years, and which is true. And then I have a mentor. Let's say Mr. X has ran a company that's done $1.5 billion a year for the last 5 years, right? He knows things I don't know. So I call him and I'm like, hey, I'm wondering how I can get my company to the next level. This is where I'm at. This is what it looks like. And he says, well, I was there too. Here's what I did. And I say, oh, I don't want to do that. What else could I do? You know what he's going to think? He's going to think, why am I talking to this guy? He thinks he knows everything. He's not even willing to do what he's asking me to provide him as advice. He's not even willing to do it. So what's the point of giving him advice? You know what I mean? Like the whole Jesus metaphor, what does he do? He stands at the door and knocks, right? And if you don't open it, he just goes into another door. Not a big deal, right? He doesn't force you to open it. He doesn't break it open or kick it open like a martial artist. He knocks, and if you don't open it, then he just goes somewhere else, right? Yeah. And sometimes it's like people are like making excuses about bullshit. They're like, oh well, universe, God, Jesus, great Buddha in the sky, Muhammad, great prophet, Allah. Send me mentors and great riches in my life. Please, I want an opportunity. Please. Please, I want an opportunity. God, send me an opportunity. Right? And you're on this conference, this live stream, whatever it is, right? So here you are, and I say, this is what you need to do. Get in, get all in, get to Vegas. So after the webinar, you don't decide to do it, right? Then you get an email that says, here's the link to join, and you're like, oh, well, God, please send me an opportunity. Please. I would love to be in the right place at the right time. So I tell you where we're at, and I say, well, actually, there's actually never been a place where I've been more excited to be. And the reason is because of what's going on. I mean, we had a weird year in 2014 in the Power Network. I don't want to get into it for everybody here, just because we don't know, you don't know, and it's fine, because it's not where we are right now. But our company has totally turned around in the last 2 weeks, and we are at a spot that I'm familiar with because I've been there before. I was there in the company, the spot we're in exactly right now, except for we were smaller then. But we're in a spot exactly like we're in right now in May of 2012. Right?
Nice.
And our sales doubled in 2 months. They doubled again in the next 2 months. And they got up to $7 million a month over the next year and a half after that. And we created 15 millionaires.
Woo!
Right?
Love that.
Now we're in a spot where we're bigger, no more, but we're in the same space because of all the things that we have going on, all the things we're launching, all the things that we're coming out. And so here you are, and you're like, God, please get me in the right place at the right time. I just need opportunity, and I'll just do whatever is presented in front of me. And there's people like this who do this all the time, and they visualize, I'm going to be a millionaire, I'm going to be a millionaire, and I'll have an opportunity, I'll have an opportunity. And then they see something like this, and the universe is like, opportunity. Boat coming to Drowning Man. And Drowning Man says, no, I'm waiting for God to present me with an opportunity to escape drowning. And the boat says, we're here, you get on. He says, no, I think an angel is supposed to save me. Like an angel's going to appear in your life and just give you a big box full of gold coins in it and say, cash these in, gift of God. Don't work, right? So people make all kinds of excuses and they constantly reject opportunities. They reject opportunities to change. They reject opportunities to get rich. They reject opportunities to create the life that they've always wanted. They reject opportunities to become great. Right? And guess what happens? Well, the way the world works, and I don't know why, when you reject and you reject and you push away and you push away, the universe stops knocking at your door. That's what it does, right? Now, I'm not saying you're supposed to do Empower Network because maybe you're not. Or maybe you're on this and you're like, well, I don't really want to do this, right? I want to be a plumber, right? I'll be like, that's awesome, dude. The world needs great plumbers. We all got toilets. Somebody needs to fix the toilets, right? You say, well, I don't really want to do this, actually. I don't really want to do this. I want to go fight for a living. Okay, go train 6 hours a day and fight for a living. I'm not saying you shouldn't do that either. I don't want to do that, not because I don't like fighting or I don't like fights or I don't like martial arts. It's because not what I want to do, right? Not what I want to do with my life. Do I think I could do it if I wanted to do it? Yeah, but I'd have to change everything in my life and train 6 or 8 hours a day and fight for nothing for a while. It's just not what I want to do with my life, right? So I don't want to do it is different than creating excuses why you can't do it. Because if you make a decision that you're going to do it, none of those excuses even exist, right? There's just, how can I find a way to make it happen? I was looking on Facebook earlier, right? Darren Little posted something. Let me see if I can actually find this, because I'll read it to you. I'm going to read this if I can find it, because it's a great post. Darren Little's a guy in Power, left and came back because his company owner died. Oh, wait, I got to stay on this page because I'm about to post something. Let me post this.
Well, as you're
huh?
Yeah, man. As you're going and you're looking for that, man. We just want to say we're so thankful, man.
Yeah,
we're so grateful.
We appreciate you so much.
I mean, for you making that one decision, to just persist until you succeed, and the lessons that you're sharing right now. I know that there are a ton of people out there. I mean, all I'm seeing in the comments is, wow, thank you. Yes, I'm telling you, man, if it wasn't for you making that one decision, managing that decision every single day, this conversation we wouldn't be having right now. And I know that there's a lot of people who need to hear this, and I just want to say thank you, because Dave, you're awesome, man, for really going out here and sharing some things like this. I mean, and I know the panel can agree. The panel can
It's great being. Okay, so I'm not going to read all of this. I want to read this, and thank you for that compliment, by the way. But this is indicative of what I'm talking about here. Okay, so let me read this. All right. Yeah, I'm going to delete some of it out. Inspirational story. Okay, this is from Darren Little. Today I got a call from an 18-year-old kid who's been following me on YouTube for the past 6 months. He's already reviewed all the videos for my primary business and asked me what the costs are to make the most amount of money. So I go over the cost of getting all in, $39.95, plus the cost of the autoresponder, the cost of the traffic, and then I go over the cost of the blog, the inner circle, the affiliate fee. And then he proceeds to tell me that he's already saved $2,000 since he first emailed me, has a part-time job besides going to school full-time that he really wants to be an all-in member. I tell him that there's always the option of getting started at a lower package and working his way up. Here's what he says: Darren, let's get real. The only way is to go all in. It just makes sense. I'm going to have $3,000 days just like you. So here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to bust my ass for the next 2 months. I started a t-shirt company. On my first 50 flyers I delivered, I already got 2 orders. So you'll be hearing back from me shortly, and I will be an all-in member. All I need to do is be aware of my thoughts. I learned recently about the law of attraction. It seems to be working. Are you familiar with it? He says, I just about fall out of my chair. Yes, I'm familiar with it. I say I teach it and have seminars on it. Perfect, he says. This is going to work amazingly well. So, decisions happen before outcomes. Okay? Woo! Yeah. You can never take an excuse from another person that you won't allow for yourself. You know what I mean? So if I was homeless and I was like, I don't have the money to start it, and I was still homeless today, I could go to another homeless people who was trying to start something and say, you know, I tried it and it didn't work. But a person who was an ex-homeless guy who then made it work and didn't take that bullshit, and then he hears somebody else who has a job and who has income, and they're saying, I can't do it because of X. This is what it sounds like. You ever seen, it's like Sesame Street where it's like, wah, wah, wah. That's what it sounds like. Wah, 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 wussy. Right? What it sounds like. Because you're making excuses, right? And creating fear in yourself. The fear doesn't exist, right? And this is the thing. It's like you know. So you got like martial arts as an example, right? You know, a great fighter to watch is I can't ever pronounce his last name, but his name's Fedor, and he's from Russia. You guys ever watch him? You watch his fights? The Last Emperor, they call him. So you could look up fights with the Last Emperor, and you could find Fedor in Russia, right? And this guy, he's still my favorite martial artist ever to fight in MMA, right? It's Amila Makamov or something like that. I can't ever pronounce those Russian words, right? My sister speaks Russian. But anyways, so you look at Fedor when he goes to fight, and there's no fear in his eyes at all. When he's fighting people that are like twice his size, and he just looks at it relaxed, right? He actually is so relaxed, people wonder if he's crazy, right? Joe Rogan did a little commentary on him, and there's like, the way he walks into the ring looking like he's going to buy a donut makes me think he's crazy. Or he said something like that. I'm paraphrasing big time. But he just walks in relaxed. The other day I was on a phone call with Mars, our CMO, and he said, you know what I like about you? He's like, no matter what we're going through, he's like, you're relaxed like nothing's happening. I can't figure it out. And you know what I told him? I said, Mars, the reason is because I know what's going to happen in advance. Because I'm creating. I just don't know how long it's going to take. So I don't care what happens. Right? There's this one fight where I was watching Fedor, right? He gets whacked, I mean, by a huge motherfucker. I mean, this guy's like 400 pounds, huge, tall, strong, right? And he goes back, like, to the back of the ring. Now, most people get really tense up and, like, they get kind of like this adrenaline mode, and he's just, like, whacked like this. And then the other guy goes to dive in to do something to him, as Fedor just relaxed, steps forward, and just socks him, right? Right after getting whacked by a guy twice his size. And the other guy just dropped straight to the ground and was out. I was like, wow. See, when you decide that you're going to create an outcome, you know in advance stuff will get in the way, and it's okay. Right? It's okay that stuff gets in the way. It will get in the way. And it's your job to fight your way through those or walk around them or find a way to build a bridge over them. Obstacles get in the way. Right? Like you learning to walk. You know, the sad thing about adults is that they don't remember learning to walk. If we did, we would whine a lot less about other things that are hard. You know what I mean? Too many people who are adults are like, it's hard. Like, I quit. right? And it's like, one day, you were a child. 10 months old, 12 months old, 14 months old, whenever you learned to walk. I started walking, I think, at 11 months old. My son started walking at 10. They're both early. And, but whenever you learn to walk, right, here's what happened. You were standing holding onto something and your legs were wobbling and you took a step and you fell on your face. Or your parent caught you. You said, oh. And then for the next month or 2 months, you would take a step or two and fall. All day trying to just take one more step. All day and night. All you think about, walking. And you don't think in words, you think in pictures. You see another person walking and your brain makes an image of you doing that. Because that's how babies think, because they don't speak words. They think what they see and they hear, right? And they walk, they can imagine it. And then you forget all the struggle, all the battles, all the day and night fighting with yourself, all the falling on your head and hitting it on the cement floor, hitting it on the carpet, hitting it on the table. And a year later, you're sprinting, not even remembering the struggle. 3 years later, you're learning to write and read, and you don't remember how hard it is to learn to read either. You can't figure out, is it an E, a C? What is the difference? But then all of a sudden, years later, you look at a word, and 3 words automatically make sense at the same time. And you don't remember how hard it was to say the first time you read it. Or apple. No, apple. Apple. You don't remember. Because the struggle has passed. Just like every struggle. Right? Just like every struggle. Every struggle passes. And then all of a sudden, you step into a new form of mastery. And then people are like back there, and you just want to say, dude, quit. You just fell after taking 1 step. I mean, if babies did that, how the fuck would people even survive if that's the way we're supposed to be, is to quit things when they're hard? No, we're not made like that. We're made to persevere. We were created, evolved, made by aliens to persevere, right? Made to survive, built to persevere towards our outcomes. Don't let anybody ever tell you that you can't do something. So, I just posted on Facebook. It says you can change anything you have the desire to change, believe you can change, and take focused action to change in your life, constantly adjusting your strategy when it's not working the way that you want until you reach your vision. Never let anyone tell you anything different.
Nice.
So the question is not, are you going to get all in, and go to the event? No. Wrong question. If that's the question you're asking, you're doing what I just described, wondering after taking a step. Should I take another step? No. Wrong. Wrong approach. It should be, are you going to walk or not? Right? And that's where you are. If you're going to make a decision to walk, then run, then do math and calculus. If you're going to make a decision to get $1 million ring. If you're going to make a decision to graduate and go to college and be a doctor. If you're going to make a decision to love someone all your life, don't redecide all the time. Make the decision one time. Because your life will be so much easier when you do. Don't redecide. Decide once. And then you'll never quit. Because quitting is not an option to somebody that's going to do something no matter what. Never appears. But if you're not going to do it no matter what, the chances of you succeeding are almost zero. Almost zero. You got to be humble, be willing to do whatever it takes. Right. So your chance to be zero, and if you decide to do it no matter what, the only thing that's going to stop you is death. If the only thing that's going to stop you is death, then your chances of succeeding are the chances that you'll live long enough, which are much higher than zero. Which one are you? You have a choice. There's a green pill and a blue pill. Which one do you choose? And how deep does the rabbit hole go in your mind? And what do you really want is the question. See, this I am going to, together with our leadership, together with this team, create hundreds and hundreds and thousands of millionaires around the world in different languages in different countries, places where I can't even communicate because the language is so weird. With or without you. You can come along with the ride, or you can decide to wake up in your bed and wonder, was it a dream? And then pop back in your car and drive back to the job you despise but lack the courage to break free from. I stand at the door and knock. And if you decide to step through, there's no, I'm not going to follow the 8 core commitments. I'm not going to go to the event. Well, I'm not going to get that product because I don't have the money. Blah, 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 blah. You haven't decided yet. It's I'm getting in, I'm getting all in, I'm following the 8 core steps, I'm going to the event, and I'm going to do it. That's it, period.
Yes, that's right.
Amen.
That's awesome.
That is right. So guys, I got to pop on a Hangout for Empower Network, and before I do that, this is what I'm going to tell you to do. Okay? If you don't want to do this, it's okay. I can't remember, I think it's the blue pill that takes you home and you wake up in the morning and wonder did it really happen, and you can take that one, right? I don't actually watch that movie enough to remember which pill does what. So take whichever one does that if you don't want to do it. Because I don't want you to do something you don't want to do. I don't want you to stress about something that you're unsure of, right? I don't want you to try it out. I don't want you to. I don't want your money. Don't try it out. But if you're going to do it, and you've already decided to do that now, or before, or tonight, in 20 minutes as you think about it, or on the next webinar as you're thinking about it, then here's what I'm going to tell you to do. If you've decided to do it, then that puts me in the role of an authority where I need to tell you the truth, and I need to tell you what you have to do in order to succeed and to take advantage of all the opportunity we have right now. So here's what I'm going to tell you. I'm going to tell you, you're getting in, you're getting all in, you're getting to Vegas, and you're going to find a way to come up with the money to do it by then.
Word.
You're going to do it as fast as possible and never give any excuses, only come up with reasons and strategies on how you can create what you want, and that's it. That's what I'm going to command you to do if you want to do it. Now, if you don't want to do it, that commandment is not for you. You say, Dave, commandment? Yep.
That's awesome.
No, that's what to do. You have a choice. I appreciate y'all. I got to run and get on the next Hangout. Is that cool, guys? I'd love to stay and hang out, but I was here late and have to run.
No, we're going to hold you hostage, man. You can't.
We're going to take all this.
Yeah, I appreciate it. I apologize for being like 40 minutes late. I was running behind on just some other stuff, and I knew you guys would still be on, so I would have forced myself to be here earlier if I thought you'd be done, but I know our Hangouts always go forever, so I really appreciate you, and thank you for inviting me on. I enjoyed spending this time with you guys. You guys are going to be $1 million earners, all of you, if you just persevere, if you just decide you're going to do it. No matter what, you will do it. But there's no shiny balls, there's no getting distracted. Sometimes things will come up, sometimes obstacles will appear, sometimes your income will go up and down, sometimes you'll get an all-in sale, then it'll be like 2 weeks before another one, you'll be like, I want another one, right? Stuff's going to happen, but it doesn't matter if you decide right now. If you decide right now, you will do it. That's it, period. You got it?
Period.
That's it, period.
That's it.
Your income disclosure for everybody, because we're going to do something doesn't mean that you will, right? Doesn't mean that you will, because you're the one that has to decide that this is going to be your life, right? All right, guys, I'll see you on the next Hangout if you show up. If you can give the link out to these people if you want, I will be on that in like the next 20 minutes or so. All right?
All right.
Man, we appreciate you, man.
Vegas.
Yeah, take care, man.
Man, that was powerful, man. You know, some of you may be wondering, like, where the heck did he talk about blogging and all of that, right?
But there was so much of that.
But let me tell you, right? He said that the decision comes before the outcome, right? The decision comes before the outcome. And that right there, man, I wrote to the panel. I was like, are you getting it? That there was no secret to what kind of blogging he did, other than the decision that this is going to work and it will get him into wealth. That's it, period. The entire thing that he taught on wasn't a strategy, guys. It was a belief system. It was a mentality. It was a whatever it takes attitude. It was, I'm going at this no matter what. Nothing will stop me. That's it, period. And when you have that mentality, he is living proof that it will get you out of your current situation and into the lifestyle that you truly desire. Now, if you want to learn the blogging strategy, if you want to learn how to do X, Y, and Z, then go ahead, get the blog right now, just like Geraldine did, right? I think that was his name or her name, right? I totally forgot who it was. But just like that person did earlier during the webinar, yeah, Geraldine, just like that person, go ahead, get it, and what we're going to do is then walk you through everything else. But you can't win in anything without the mindset of whatever it takes, without first making the decision. I want each person who's on here on the panel to come on out here, and I want you to tell me what your biggest takeaway is and why everyone needs to make a decision right now to go ahead and get the blog.
Get the blog, man.
Who wants to start it off? Who wants to be the first one to take this thing to the next? Go ahead, Nico. Unmute yourself, girl. Let's go. Sorry, I saw her first. Sorry, Dan.
All right, I'm just going to say this quickly, and this webinar was especially for me. Not just David Wood said it, but so did Cassandra. Procrastination cannot kill your business, just kill your business, but it can kill your life. You have to stop procrastinating because we do not know what tomorrow holds. So I'm claiming it today in 2015. I will no longer procrastinate. It is time to take action and do whatever it takes because my vision is real and my will and desire to help others is real. So it's happening. So if you're on here and you heard the message, get your blog started. If you haven't been blogging, get back to blogging. Start making a difference because people are out here depending on your words. They're depending on your message. So get your story out there and let's change lives today.
Amen, amen.
Woo! That's right, girl. That is right, man. Procrastination is not only going to kill your business, it will kill your life, guys. I'm not kidding. It is so important. You got to get the Kalatsu blog. You're probably wondering, what the heck is Kalatsu? You know that Kalatsu means tell your story. Okay, that's what it means. And the blog is a platform for you to use to get yourself out of where you are and into what you want. I mean, we call that the promised land, right? And that is what the blog can do, man, and it's going to get you started. Are you going to walk or are you going to think about walking? Which one are you going to do? Because what we're going to do here on this panel is whatever it takes. That's what we're going to do, okay? And we're going to make sure that we succeed. Are you going to join the bandwagon and succeed with us? Because every person on this panel has already made the decision that they're not thinking about walking, they're going to walk. They don't care what is going to end up getting in their way. They're going to push it no matter what and keep going forward. They're ready to sprint. Are you ready to sprint with us?
You ready to sprint, man? Let's
make the decision.
Let's have Daniel come out here, brother. I know you wanted to share something with the audience here.
Yeah, I just like you said, if you didn't get anything out about that, I got 2 pages down of what a lot of y'all don't know. Me and my wife want to host a marriage show because so many people are getting divorces and stuff like that. And I'll make this very, very quick. Okay. What did he say? You have to make a decision in the first place. Now, me and my wife do not we just don't believe in divorce. I mean, point blank period. Yes, you have struggles. Yes, you have problems. Yes, you have this, that, and the other. And one of the ones, I don't know if I can find it. You know, life gives you an obstacle course. You know, how are you going to go through that obstacle course? You know, when you see what's the one show where they have the big obstacle course and they have to do like jumping and all that? You're gonna have to do you're gonna have to do all that. You know, a big heavy bag is gonna come at you and try to knock you down. are you going to allow that? And as far as Vegas, we're expecting our second child. Now, she can go into labor at any time. Yes, I'm not going to be there at the entire event, but guess what? I'm going to be there Thursday for our mastermind. I'm going to be there Friday to have my face shown, to be there and let people know, hey, I'm committed. Listen, my wife can go into labor at any point. It's that decision that you decide to make. And if you decide, well, you know, I could do it, but like he said, you know, I just want to see if it's going to work. Listen, if you go in half-ass at anything, it's not going to work. I'm going to tell you that. Even with the marriage, it's not going to work. She knows how it feels. She can get mad at me and try to go sleep on the couch. Guess what? She knows we do not go to sleep in the separate bedroom. Now, this event will probably be the 5th time in 5 years we've been together that we have not slept in the same bedroom. You're not going to do that. You're going to be in that room. I don't care what that argument was just about. It was a decision we made on April 7th. Let me make sure I had that right. April 9th. The 7th was my son's birthday. April 9th of 2011. We made that decision that we're going to be all in, and we're going to be all in together.
Dude, that's a beautiful story, man.
That's
Thank
awesome.
you for sharing, man.
Yeah, man. You guys are great. And
Dude,
seriously,
we're the same way. We think the same way, dude.
I think that's why we connect so well with each other, you know. You guys, seriously, you know, you're a living example of making a decision and managing it. Because since day one, I have not seen you go through any type of, is this for me? I haven't seen you pause.
Yeah.
You haven't paused.
Yeah.
You've been so on point, so consistent with who you are and how you operate and the actions that you take, that the words that he just shared, everyone out here in the audience, I'm telling you, even with Nico too, the words she just shared, guys, you want to be connected to this crew. You want to be connected here, because here you can plant yourself and fruit will always be shown.
Absolutely.
And you can always tell who the person is or what we're about by the fruit that is bared, right? And Nico is a fruit that's bared. Daniel is, what we're saying is all fruit. And what I'm telling you here is that you're going to bear fruit here. You're not going to be a dead tree, a dead branch. You're going to actually produce here. Something will happen here. You need to go ahead and make the decision to get started, get the blog, and we're going to walk you through it all. But it is impossible for us to teach you anything if you have not yet first made the decision to go for it and run with us. It is that serious, all right? So I want James from New Zealand. Come on out here. What was your biggest takeaway, and why does everyone need to make a decision right now to get the blog, lock arms with Power Quantum,
Look, listen,
and go forward?
Really fast, right? You know, when we've made this, I mean, there's been times where I literally would, like, I didn't have any money, okay? And I would literally start calling everyone. It was embarrassing, but you know what? Then I realized look, it's only embarrassing when you know that you're going to take someone's money and you're going to buy something and absolutely do nothing. If that's the case, then you're stealing, okay? But then I realized that the money that I was asking for was an investment, because I knew I wasn't just going to let it sit there. Like, I buy books and then I just never read them. I knew I wasn't going to do that, so therefore I stopped being embarrassed. What did I have to be embarrassed about? Asking people for money was not a big deal anymore for me, because I knew I wasn't going to just buy something and do absolutely nothing with it. I knew I was going to come up, read it, and do whatever it takes to pay those people back and, you know, and just invest in myself, right?
Absolutely.
Go ahead, James from New Zealand.
James from New Zealand.
Sorry.
All right, guys. So in the beginning, I shared what I was trying to get out of tonight, and I wanted to understand how he's been able to push himself beyond the willful limits that he has in order to take advantage of the market and reach the heights that he was trying to go after. And so in my mind, I was trying to find through what was being shared, and in the beginning, I was seeing some topics that were discussed from what you guys were sharing, but at the end of it, I had a breakthrough, and I realized that I actually found what I was looking for, because when I moved to New Zealand, there were some major changes in my life, and a lot of things that happened with my wife and I noticed that there was a shift in my decision making, because it shifted to, oh my gosh, I don't know what's going to happen. How am I going to do what I need to do? You know, I'm so far away. And it's funny that David says you won't be able to do what you don't see. And so right then, thinking back to it, I actually made a decision not to do whatever it takes. And I just had a breakthrough, because I realized that since then, there's been other things that have come into my path where you know, it might be my wife, or it might be, you know, some event or something that's happening in my life, and each time I'm able to assess what's going on, and the decisions that I was making, it was unconsciously, like I'm battling myself, and so I wanted to make a decision. I already made the decision. I'm going to do whatever it takes, but because I made that second decision. That second decision is actually not, it stopped me from overcoming the obstacles. And so the breakthrough that I had was to make a decision where it's okay that this obstacle came through, and now I'm relaxed about it. Wow, this is really cool. I have this breakthrough. I'm overcoming this because of my initial decision. And so what I'm going to do is I am no longer going to make my wife an excuse, or anything in my life an excuse to overcome and adapt to the things that I need to do to run my business solidly. I'm going to do whatever it takes. If I got to go to get a job, if I got to create something to make this happen, because my mindset change, I'm going to do it. Because my mindset change, I can see that I'm going to do it, and because I can see that I'm going to do it, I'm going to overcome. And it's so powerful that I already know that it's going to happen. There's no doubt. So I feel like that relaxed guy going before the fight, you know, in a sense. But that was my biggest takeaway. And if you guys don't see the kind of people that we're tied in with and the things that we have here, you know, this didn't come about by some accident. It wasn't just a bunch of, you know, I know we sometimes hype things up, but it's not a bunch of rah-rah here. We're just trying to get you guys in the right mindset before you can make a decision, because what we're doing here is not something that is exposed to the general public. Where you're not going to get an opportunity like this very often. And so if you haven't done it already, make sure you click the link, get the blog, lock arms with us, and make a decision that's going to help you to be relaxed in your business when any obstacle comes your way. And join us, and let's do this together.
Word. Awesome, James. Thank you so much for sharing that, because you know, by you sharing that, you've really shown a vulnerable side to you. You know, you kind of put it out there, man. And I appreciate you, man. And I am so proud to have you here in Power Quantum, man. I'm so proud to know you, to be a part of your journey, because, you know, I always tell people, what you go through is never for yourself. It's always for someone else. Always. I mean, by you sharing that, you don't know out here who needed to hear that. And people are going to watch the recording again tomorrow. And you have no idea how many people are saying, I'm going through the same thing, where I made the commitment, but so many things got in the way, and then I thought maybe I shouldn't go full force, maybe I should slow it down, and suddenly you come to the realization that really the only way that you're going to make this happen is by making that full force decision to keep going, just like that baby who's trying to walk, right? And I appreciate you for saying that, because I'm telling you, there's probably tons of people here who are like, finally, a man that gets me, right? Finally. That's awesome. I appreciate you, man. I appreciate you. Continue moving forward. I'm telling you, dude, your story is for someone else.
Absolutely.
All the time.
Absolutely.
Dave Wood's story was for us tonight. You think that lesson he taught us, it came out of theory?
No.
No, he experienced that, guys. You wanted to know how did he blog himself out of poverty into wealth. That was it.
That was it, man.
It was that experience. The decision. You heard him. He said, I'm going to do this. There was not one day where he thought, maybe I shouldn't. Maybe this was a bad decision. No, he did it and he's doing it. Like, do you understand that? It's a decision. When you decide, do you know what you're doing? You're setting apart what doesn't belong. When you make an incision, that's something different, right? When you decide, when you make a decision, you are separating what doesn't belong, what is no longer a part. Yeah. Think about that. Everyone out here in the audience can make a decision tonight. But they're so afraid. Some people are afraid of making the decision because they know they have to let go of something to make a full-blown decision to be rooted here. Decisions are hard when they shouldn't be. We inflate it. They shouldn't be hard. Literally, decisions happen in a second. In a second. It happens just boom.
Yeah.
You know, people are one decision from their breakthrough, but they're holding themselves back. I don't understand this.
Yeah, man.
You know,
I mean, it's crazy, man. It's crazy how things can change. But you know, let's have Natalia. Why don't you unmute yourself and why don't you share with everyone why they need to go ahead and get started right now, and you know, anything else you want to share, go for it.
Hey, what's up, everybody? Oh my God, David Wood. No wonder why it's called Empower. I'm not even kidding. That was crazy. That was crazy. He actually really touched me when he was talking about do not redecide, decide now. And the reason why, I mean, people don't redecide on their goals. When you think about the things that you want in your life, the things that, the places you want to reach, like it's infinite, and people don't realize that. It's definitely infinite. You don't go, okay, well, this is the house I want, and you don't want to work for it. You know, it's just always in a dream. That's not it. So you don't redecide it. You decide it now when you're thinking of your dreams. It's the same thing. It's the same thing with business. Like, I mean, honestly, if you don't make the decision to go all in, then you're just constantly making excuses for the rest of your life. And that's the way it's going to be the rest of your life. I feel like a lot of people do make excuses out of fear. And it's okay to be afraid, but you're also afraid to, you know, go buy that lottery ticket. Turn that lottery ticket. Everybody's afraid of, oh, okay, well, I just spent this much on a lottery ticket. Well, it's, you know, it's the same thing. It's like you know, you have a 50-50 chance, but if you work at it, you don't. You have better options. You have more of a chance. Like, he's crazy. I love David Wood.
We can't wait to be in your hometown, girl.
This year is definitely very different. I think more people need to lock arms with Power Quantum, and it's definitely eye-opening. And I mean, I'm excited. I'm stoked. I don't even know what to say. Like, super excited. But
hey, man,
I got a few more people on this watching this panel tonight, so if I have anything to say, just, you know, click that link, don't be afraid, and lock arms with me. I won't let you fall. Even if you decide to walk and you may fall, you may not, but I'm not going to let you fall. I've got you, you know, follow me all in. That's right. Thanks, guys.
Hey, you know, for those who don't know Natalia, right, you know, I really want to share with, you know, just quickly, you know, Natalia is actually somebody who's been wanting to go all in, and you know, this girl, I mean, she did just about everything and anything that she could do to become one of our elite members here in Power Quantum. And you know what? The truth is that she had made a decision, right? And she made it happen, right? I mean, she made it happen. I mean, she went over and beyond to be here, right? And it's so rewarding. I know that she feels so rewarding to be on this panel, to share this panel with David Wood, to share this panel with these awesome leaders. So Natalia, I just want to say congratulations for deciding to get all in, becoming a Black Card member, becoming one of our elite members here, because you are a leader, and that you making that decision and you carrying and creating those experiences of what you had to go through in order to be here is really what's going to help you make tons of money and help you get very wealthy, because it's really those experiences and that conviction and that passion that only when you make a decision and you create an experience that you can actually take away and share with others. Like my wife mentioned, all the stories that David Wood shared, they weren't just out of thin air. They weren't out of theory. These things actually happened to him. So that's the reason why he can touch our heart. So congratulations, Natalia.
Thank
And last
you.
but not,
Well, it's like I had told Cassandra before. I was like, honestly, if that came so easy, like a lottery ticket did, I wouldn't have, wouldn't have been so important to me. But the fact that I did everything, I mean, you guys can read my story on my blog about how I went all in, what it took. It took a lot for me to do this, and I think the reason why I hit obstacle upon obstacle, struggle after struggle, was because I think the universe wanted me to realize how important this is and how great I'm gonna be at this. Like you gotta strive for greatness. You don't just, it's not just handed to you. You know what I'm saying? And I think in the absence of value, money is always an issue.
That's right.
You know what I mean? So honestly, if you guys need any help on knowing what to do in order to get in where you fit in, let me know. Message me. I will tell you my whole story about what it took to go all in. And I love you guys.
love you too, man.
We love you too, girl.
And last but not least, we have Scooby and Shaggy, right? These are hustlers,
The young hustlers of the crew.
Hustlers, man.
They're the youngest one here, man.
These kids, dude, they like sold their cars.
I'm used to being the youngest one here, dude. You guys, you know what? We might have to just kick you out because I've always enjoyed being the youngest one, and now we got two people that are younger than us.
Yeah, man. These guys don't get these kids wrong, man. They're not even kids, man. They're actually awesome leaders, man.
They're leaders, man. You know what? Before you guys come out, there's one thing that I wanted to, Devontae, which is Scooby, right? When he came here, I mean, he had posted something on Facebook, and he said the 25-year-old version of me is going to thank the 20-year-old version. I mean, the 20-year-old me, right? Which is him now. And I love the way you said that, man, because it is the truth. These guys, yeah, they're young. They're maybe the youngest ones, but they are with us here on this panel borrowing experiences that we've already had so they don't have to go through it. And heck yes, he's right. That 25-year-old version of himself is definitely going to thank him now, him today. So keep on going. Both of you guys. You guys are just, y'all are awesome,
man.
Go ahead and unmute yourself and tell everyone your powerful moments tonight and why everyone should get started right now if they haven't done so. Go ahead. I don't know if I can hear you. You guys talking? Yeah, I don't know. I think we can't hear you, man. As they try to fix that, right? There we go. Go ahead. Go ahead.
It's definitely I just want to pick up on that decision making. Definitely that decision is the most important thing in your life that you're ever going to make. Me and Scooby, we had to go through getting a loan, for a personal loan, just to get this, because we knew this was going to be it. This was going to be it for us. We're gonna push everything, our all into this, and
it's definitely our intuition speaking for us when we made this decision. Because like where I'm gonna be at 25, I was not possible without this decision right here. I cannot think of any way. Like I broke every limit, every mental barrier, everything. I'm just limitless now. Like the potential to this year can go so far for me.
It's going to go far.
That I could not make just from making this decision right here. So, and then I have a team to support me, and we're not walking, we're running. This team is running, y'all. And we want everybody to run with us. Definitely. It's like, what can you do with money? That's how I always see it.
Definitely.
For me, my motivation is not money. It's just the ability to not to worry about money and help people not worry about money, so they can actually have that time to grow spiritually, mentally, and physically. Just actually see life for themselves. Cause my mom goes to college. My mom went to college, y'all. And she's not even working right now, but she's gonna get a job. I'm just like, nothing's guaranteed. I thought about college, I thought about the Army thoroughly, and I sat there and I was like, every decision I'm making with this decision right here, I cannot get to that point when I'm 25 without this decision right here, actually. So yeah,
it's definitely follow your intuition, follow your dreams, whatever you choose to pursue. If you don't choose to click that button, if you don't choose to go ahead and lock arms with us, with this powerful team, that's always going to back you up. No matter what you say, whatever you do, they're always going to check you. Scooby's going to check me no matter what.
We have each other's back no matter what. So it's like, it doesn't matter anybody say, that's why we're together.
Exactly.
And then we have a team on top of that. It's like me and Ian, we got each other's back, just me and him. But then we got this team that has everybody's back on top of that. So we got each other's back on top of each other's back. And it's
It's
like,
just
look,
leverage on top of leverage, y'all.
definitely.
So
And with Nika was saying about procrastination kills success, she is so right, because if you don't do this now, sometimes later is sometimes never.
never.
It's never, it can become never, y'all. Like literally. Like if I had this opportunity in my face in high school, I would have took advantage of this in high school. I would never invest in those shoes, those clothes, just to be like the just to be kids and everything, to have that illusion of the ego. I would have just invested in high school, y'all. I would have been a millionaire by now, just jumping out of high school, or even a billionaire. Like it's limitless, y'all, where you can go with this. Anybody can do this. It doesn't matter your experience, skill set, and I mean it's exciting, y'all. It's just the potential what can possibly go for anybody for the future with this. So you can do it. Money is definitely the question everybody should ask themselves right now. You had a question life when you think about this.
Yeah.
Like working a 9 to 5 in a cubicle. Like I'm looking at all these people's experience, different walks of life, and I'm like, this person was a pharmacist and they were making good money, but they didn't have the time. That's one thing that nobody has when they're actually working, just the time to actually do what they're trying to do, just to make that money. And it's like when I look at clothing now, it's kind of like, okay, this shirt is probably like $30, but that's probably like $30 on my life work. On this is $30 on my life right here work. But I can make $3K in one day, y'all. Just in 30 hours. I'm not trying to be at a job working 10 hours in Amazon, the factory, getting $13 an hour, and everyone's like, that's great pay, that's great pay, you know, I'm getting money. But really, they're not investing in themselves. They're investing in clothes. With that money, I would invest into this. For all these the jobs I was taking, it was something to invest in something, or I can just have a limitless potential to actually create the future that I want.
And I feel like when you invest into this, you're investing into yourself. You're investing into your dream. Whatever you see right now, that car, whatever car you like, whatever female you like, how about you go stop talking about it and go get it? Like really. Like it's like I can't get any more serious than that.
Yeah, I mean I'm 20, y'all. I mean I've been to college for one semester. I worked many places. I've gotten money, and all of it was just to invest in something where I can actually create a life, y'all. Not a living, create a life for myself where I can grow spiritually, mentally, and physically.
I just got
this is it. This is
power couple.
I researched all throughout the internet. This is it, y'all. This is the only thing that's right in front of your face. So yeah, procrastinate.
You guys are awesome,
success.
man.
Do it. Sometimes later can become never, literally.
Really?
It's like your intuition. This is my intuition speaking.
That's beautiful, man.
You guys are great, man. I
Man, we
love
you
the
guys.
young hustlers there, bro. I mean, they did, man. They dropped some good stuff there. I mean,
there you could tell that. You could tell, like, you know, it's crazy that when someone like makes a decision, a real decision and a real commitment, like everything changes. Like their face changes, their language changes, like their excitement changes. It's crazy, right? Maybe you're at that point right now where you've made that decision and you just don't know where the button is at, right? The button's over there. Okay, so go ahead, or down here.
You click on the Pop-ins tab, and you'll see the button, Get Started. I see Keith, he said that I made the decision. I am going to do this. And hey, man, we congratulate you ahead of time. We can't wait to meet you. And I know you said that you're probably going to get started sometime soon, so we look forward to meeting you, man.
Absolutely,
you know,
man. We're pumped up, though, man. Look, listen, we appreciate you guys. You guys are awesome. Skyrocketing up.
Yeah.
Okay, cool. Go ahead, baby.
Yeah, man, you guys are great. Look, guys, learn how to start making decisions and managing them. That's what this is about. You want to see, and it's not a decision to start blogging, guys. That's not what this is. The decision is to get closer to your goals and dreams.
Absolutely.
And the decision is, do you want to use this as a vehicle? Do you want to plant yourself here to get you closer to your goals and dreams? That's the decision that you're making. It's your goals. It's your dreams. That's all you're doing.
Amen.
Okay? And if you're ready to make that decision, do it now. And if not,
do it now,
totally
man.
fine.
Do it now.
We're here. We're running together.
We're still gonna be here.
We're gonna meet each other out in Vegas.
Get bigger.
And this is gonna get bigger.
And we're gonna keep sprinting.
And we're gonna go crazy.
And we're gonna go even harder.
And more people are gonna get.
And we're gonna get more people in here.
And we're gonna get to the wealthy level.
And we're gonna get.
And then we're gonna go to the world. Is that, you know, that's what it's about, y'all.
Yeah,
that's
man.
what it's about.
Amen.
Let's do this, man.
Let's do this, man. So if you haven't gone ahead and gotten started, guys, just go ahead and get started right now. We appreciate you guys. We love you. We thank you so much for getting on this hangout. You guys are awesome. You guys are great. Thank you, okay?
Yes.
Thank you for getting on here.
Thank you for being
We're going to be
here.
on here next week on Thursday, every single week. on Thursday at 8 p.m. Eastern.
That's right.
We appreciate you. Thank you for getting on here. We really do appreciate you.
And if you have any questions, let us know. We are here to answer them for you. If you're going to end up watching the recording, if you're watching the recording, get started. Do it right now and don't hesitate another second. And everyone else, man, if you already got started, we cannot wait to meet you. We cannot wait to run with you. And we cannot wait to see the success bull rushing your life.
Amen.
Because that's what's about to happen,
exactly.
guys. We love you. Make the decision. We appreciate you. Have a great night.